I'm Jess.
I'm Marissa.
And this is Totally Candid.
Woo! Season 2, episode...
Wrong.
Nope, Season 3, episode 2. Sorry, reverse.
Reverse. Okay, anyways.
What's up, girl? I'm so excited for this episode. As you can see, we have our laptops on our laps, as they are meant to be.
Yes.
A laptop. Anyway.
Laptops as they should be.
Yeah. This week, we're going to do a Reddit Stories episode.
You betcha.
We love Reddit Stories episodes. And if you were just tuning in for this season, check out our first episode of Season 3. It will explain as to why these stories aren't going to be photo related.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. The theme for this Reddit Stories episode is creepy.
Yes, creepy Reddit stories in all senses of the word. I think... Is there a ghost one in here?
I think mine's a potential paranormal one.
Yeah. But then there's other, like, creepy stuff, too. So,
yeah.
I'm so excited. We love creepy things.
I know. We do. We went on a whole tangent about it in our last episode. Like, literally, we went on a tangent for 30 minutes about ghosts and creepy things. So
that's fine, because that's what runs our...
It's only fitting. You can't see it, but I have my ghost tattoo right here as well, so... I know, the lace covers it a little bit.
It's so cool.
It's a ghost tattoo, so...
Yeah. It's so funny also, just going back to, like, just Reddit things. I never went on Reddit until we started this podcast.
I don't really go on it too much. I went on it more in college than I do now. Mm-hmm. Reddit is a crazy place.
It is crazy. It's really crazy.
Have you ever heard of, I think it's like 50-50 or something. I don't remember exactly what the subreddit is called, but it's a subreddit where you have a 50-50% chance of it's like a 50% chance of getting one of the two things that's listed on the post. So it can be like a picture of a basket full of cute puppies or a severed finger. And like you click on the link and it's a 50-50 chance of what you're going to get.
I mean, yeah.
And so sometimes, like, you can get a picture of really cute puppies, and then sometimes you get a picture of a finger, like, hanging off of a hand.
I wouldn't want to risk that.
No. My ex-boyfriend in high school showed that subreddit to me, and
Zebby.
my cat. Has shown... I got shown a handful of very disturbing photos. Zeb, come here.
Zebby.
Are you going to make an appearance? Oh, there he is.
Hi, sir.
You might be able to see his little tail. Do you want to come up?
Come hang out, Zeb.
You can come up. Come here.
He's like, I just want to look.
Come here. Come on. Oh. Come here. Come here. Come on. It's okay.
You got it.
I'm giving you permission.
You got it.
Please. Come on.
He's like, Mom.
Zeb, come here. He does this thing where he just stares.
He's like, I don't know what I want to do.
Come here, Bugaboo. There you go.
There we go. Hi.
Hi.
He's like, Mom, there's something on your lap and that should be me.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what he's thinking. But in meow language.
In meow.
Anyways.
Wait, I have a question, though, on this 50-50 Reddit page. Is it, like, only puppies or fingers, or is there always
it's random things.
Okay.
It like can be anything. Like I remember one time there was a 50-50. I don't remember what the good thing was, but the bad thing was watching someone get killed.
You're kidding.
No, and it was that. That was in high school. Yeah, it's really fucked up.
I hate that.
Yeah, so I have blocked most of the bad things that I've seen out. Because I don't remember any of them. Because it was also fucked up. I was like 16, 17, like watching people get fucking killed.
Yeah,
on Reddit.
That's messed up.
Uh-huh.
But also, is that like murder? Like, are you witnessing a murder?
I don't know. Who knows?
Okay, well.
Anyways,
that's not going to be
this.
It
was like someone getting shot, and it's like assumed that they probably also died after. But it was like,
that's crazy.
See this cute thing or watch a man get shot. And I was like, I really hope it's a cute thing. I don't want to watch this. And my ex-boyfriend was like, click. And I was like, cool. Awesome.
Nothing could possess me to ever want to do that. You know? Like, Zebby, you're shedding. He's like, thanks. Oh, I
He
love
might lay
him.
like right here.
I hope you do, because that's so freaking cute.
You just can't sip on my computer, please.
He's like, what's this? I want to be quiet just in case you can hear sniffs.
I know, or if he like purrs or something.
I know.
You can lay here.
He's like, okay, I'm trying.
You can like lean if you want. I know, it's really challenging. There isn't a good spot for you here.
Maybe one day we can get a video podcast at my place and we can see Winnie and Willow. Because I don't think they've ever seen Winnie or Willow, like, on the pod.
I think the last Reddit stories we did at your apartment, he jumped on the table, or on the, yeah, he jumped on the table, the coffee table, I thought.
Yeah, but we haven't posted, like, full videos.
Oh, true.
So, like, they technically haven't seen, because I don't think we posted any of that on social.
True.
That was a mess up on my part. I should have just posted my, oh, he's saying hi.
Are you rubbing?
I love him.
Me too. Can you lay down, please? There you go. See, I know you're like half on the couch and half not. I'm sorry. It's probably not the most comfortable. There we go. Okay. You're just unfortunately going to have to get up and start the recording once we need to restart it.
I'm going to cry. This is so sweet. We have a friend.
We do.
We have a friend to listen.
This is usually how we sit whenever. So we're on opposite sides of my living room now. We used to record in the corner. And on this side of the couch, it's the bigger couch. And it's directly across from my TV. So whenever I like watch movies or shows or like play video games or anything, he always like sits next to me like that while I'm playing.
He's so sweet.
Yeah. I know it's not comfy.
He's like, it's hard under my bum. But do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I can go first. So one story, as a forewarning, these are all from the subreddit Best of Redditor Updates. Mm-hmm. So all of the titles are going to be a little bit different than like what the actual titles were. But for the title for this post, it says, OP is scared about his daughter's, quote, imaginary friend. The second one is my 28 female husband, 28 male, took me to a creepy party his friend, 28 male, hosted, and now I feel uncomfortable around his friends.
Start with that one because I feel like the other one is going to be a good one to like end on.
Yeah.
Or like one of the last ones to go.
Okay. Alrighty. So, this is my husband took me to a creepy party his friend hosted, and now I feel uncomfortable around his friends. Let's get into it.
I'm so scared already.
Yeah, so this was posted on September 13th of 2021. So this is 4 years old now, it looks like. Alrighty, so my husband has this group of friends that he's very close to. They all grew up together and still see each other regularly. They've always been nothing but nice to me for the entire 3 years I've known them, but before this had never made me feel uncomfortable in any way. On Saturday, it was his friend's birthday, so he invited us to his party. At the party, there was a table full of gross things like you would see on a survival show, and these men were paying, oh my gosh, I can't read. And these men were paying some girls to eat them, and they were filming it and laughing at them. My husband intentionally kept me away from that side of the party, but at one point I needed to use the restroom, and I couldn't find him after, so I ended up there. When I was there, this random guy came up to me and tried to get me to eat one of the nasty things. He was pretty aggressive about it. One of my husband's friends saw me and he told that guy, not her, and then he asked me where my husband was and made a joke about how he couldn't have let me out of his sight, or he shouldn't have let me out of his sight. He then stuck to me like glue until we found my husband again, at which point he whispered something to him and then left. I feel so repulsed and creeped out by the whole thing. I literally had a nightmare about this party. It doesn't help that I spoke to one of the girls and she said she had no idea that this was going to happen before she got there. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
The dilemma I have is that we see them often. We're supposed to see them in 2 weeks, but I feel so uncomfortable just at the thought of having to be around them, especially the host. Honestly, I see them all differently now, and it's even made me see my husband slightly differently, even though he never participated. I feel like I'm doing a horrible job at explaining it, but the whole thing was extremely creepy to me. I don't know how to tell my husband this. Those friends are like family to him, and I feel like refusing to go will cause tension between us and make him feel like I'm forcing him to choose between me and his friends. Any advice on what to do?
Okay, my first reaction.
Yeah.
My first reaction is, like, not even, like, gross food aside. The creepy thing about this is, like, this husband knew something weird was going on and was intentionally keeping her away from this part. And it's like, what is the underlying thing that he's like, I don't want her to be even remotely close to that, to the point that, like, when she goes close to them and the guy is like aggressively trying to force her to eat that, like, what is he trying to make her eat, and what is his purpose for it? Because why does it fucking matter if she eats it or not? Why was he aggressive about it? And that to me is what creeps me out.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem that he didn't tell her initially, but there's also, so the next paragraph, what's cool about the Best of Redditor updates is that, like, all of the notes and extra info for the original posts is just, like, in this one section. So OP does end up sharing what the survival things were, like the foods. So she says, there were a lot of things, but I noticed there were live insects, eyeballs, bull testicle smoothies, and pig uterus. I know there are probably places or cultures that eat this, and I'm not trying to insult anyone by saying it's gross, but the things stunk really badly, and I feel like they intentionally made the stuff look as disgusting as possible. I didn't eat any of it, so maybe it tasted better than it looked, but I doubt it based on the smell. And then someone asked if she knew what the gross foods were, and she said that they had labels with prices. That's how she knew. This is, again, just more information. So the host has a fiance. 3 of them are married. The rest of them all have partners except for 2 of the guys who are single. Mm-hmm. Someone asked, were the friends who have spouses and fiancés participating in this party? And OP said, not the married ones, since they were the ones I spent most of my time with. The host probably did, but I never saw him do anything. I saw 2 of his friends there who were definitely watching and participating. One was single, one was in a relationship. Honestly, the more I read the comments and think about it, the more sick I feel. I wish he never took me, and I don't understand why he would even want me to go. Or he would even want to go, period.
What I don't understand, though, is, like, it feels very, like, culty or, like, initiation. I know it's, like, a whole Survivor or whatever, but, like, it's just the fact that, like, she goes there, right? Like, goes over there, and then someone says to her, like, not her. Like, why are these specific people the ones that are supposed to be participating? Did the husband, like, say beforehand to the friends, like, did he know this was happening?
Yeah.
And then say beforehand to the friends, like, I don't want you to involve my wife. Like, she's not going to want it. Like, that's gross. Like, that's the part that's, like, creepy to me, is that it feels very selective and very, like, initiation kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's very, like I would imagine the fact that she said, like, survivor or, like, survival, like, it makes me think that these guys are obsessed with the show Survivor. Yeah. And that, like, they want to try and make an experience. So it's almost like an extreme version of having, like, a themed birthday party. Mm-hmm. Like, for my dad's 50th birthday party, my mom and I threw a superhero themed birthday party for him with, like, superhero masks and, like,
really
like props and stuff. This almost feels like a themed birthday party to me, where this guy just wanted a Survivor themed birthday party.
I guess so. What I think of as I've never seen Survivor, so maybe like,
it might not be Survivor. There are other shows where, like, you are forced to eat gross foods. Like, it could be something like that. But
isn't it like Fear Factor or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. I just that's the creepy part to me. Yeah. Is, like, it's very, like, not her, and, like, whisper something and then they leave. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, like, secretive for some reason, and I'm like, I want to know why it's so precious.
It's also really interesting that the friend was, like, not her and then, like, stuck with her and, like, didn't leave her side.
That's what I mean. Like, it feels like they're protecting her in some way, and it's like, what are they protecting her from?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know, because they paid the other girls to eat stuff, and I don't know if, like,
maybe they didn't have money to pay her.
Maybe it's a kink thing.
Maybe. Because, yeah, I mean, they were asking about, like, if people were single or not. Wait, that's what did they say? It was one of the single guys was, but then the not married ones. were
The
married ones were not participating. So the single ones were.
Well, yeah. So 2 single people. She was saying that the host never participated. One of the ones that was participating was single. The other one was in a relationship.
Right. But the specific married ones were not participating.
No, because OP was like hanging out with them the whole time.
That's weird.
But then where was the husband? Like, but the husband was supposed to stay with her, and he didn't because he had to go to the bathroom, or she had to go to the bathroom, so she left him.
Yeah,
and then she got lost.
Well,
so he wasn't going to participate anyway.
The eating was happening near the bathroom.
Right.
That's why.
Right. So like he wasn't going to go there anyways.
Right.
So it seems.
I want to know, like, did he know that was happening?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did. Well, we'll find out because there is an update to this story. So
I have so many questions.
I'm pretty sure he knew what happened, but I imagine is probably what we're probably going to read about is that he knew what was going to happen, and that it might be the type of thing where like his friend has just been that for as long as he's known him. So to the husband, not that it's normal, but like that's just how Joe acts. That's just how this friend acts. So to OP or to OP's husband, it's not weird.
Yeah.
But to OP, she's like, what the fuck are you doing eating all these like gross, crazy foods? And like, why the fuck did someone come up to me and say, no, not her, and then protect me? And didn't lead you back to your husband and instead just like waited for him to find you. Like
that's what's weird.
Yeah.
That's shady stuff.
But we'll find out. Okay. So update. The update was posted January 18th of 2022. So it was posted 4.5 months later. OP writes, I posted a few months ago about this creepy party that my husband's friend hosted. I was supposed to see them 2 weeks after my original post, but I got out of it. My anxiety was sky high and it made me physically sick, so I had a legitimate reason for skipping the event. It took me a long time before I actually gathered the courage to say anything to my husband about what happened that day, even though he had been asking me multiple times before if I was okay. When I first told him, he was super understanding and promised nothing like that would ever happen again. While he was upset when I told him I didn't want to be around his friends, he told me he understood and he wouldn't force me. Also, he already knew what happened with the guy who approached me, his friend told him. All he would say was that he had handled it and it wouldn't happen again. He continued hanging out with his friends separately, and eventually they asked him why I was never there anymore, and he told them. They did reach out to apologize/justify the party, but I never responded to any of them. Things were starting to get better until recently.
I want to know what the apology/justifications were.
My in-laws hosted a birthday dinner for my husband. I asked my husband if his friends would be there, and he told me it was just going to be family. When we got there, his friends were all there. I ended up leaving the dinner without telling anyone because I couldn't handle being around them when they were all trying to act like nothing had happened. I did text my husband when I was in the Uber, but he was pissed at me when I got home for leaving the way I did. We had a big fight and I ended up locking him out of our bedroom because he wouldn't drop it. He's still angry at me over what happened, but I'm pissed at him too. During the fight, he said I needed to get over what happened and that his friends wouldn't hurt me. He kept telling me I had nothing to be worried about because he was right there and he wouldn't let anything happen to me. Why does he keep saying I wouldn't let anything happen to you?
That's what I mean.
She goes, I got really angry at him and he asked if I had, and asked him if I had nothing to worry about, like I had nothing to worry about at the party because I was married to him. I asked him if he would still say that if we weren't married or if I would have been fair game then. He implied that I had misunderstood what was happening at the party, that I'd worked myself up over nothing, and that I was being ridiculous. That's pretty much the update. I just wanted to thank everyone for all the advice and comments in my original post. It really helped me realize I wasn't crazy for feeling the way I did, and I kept coming back and reading the comments and when I felt like I was being irrational. So, hold on. I want to reread that paragraph again. She said, during the fight, he said I needed to get over what happened. His friends wouldn't hurt me. He kept telling me I had nothing to be worried about because he was right there and he wouldn't let anything happen to me. I got really angry at him and asked him if I had nothing to worry about, like I had nothing to worry about at the party because I was married to him. I asked him would he still say that if I weren't married to him or if I would have been fair game. Okay, I'm understanding. So it seems like she's kind of implying that things were happening to the single people at the party.
Yeah. We don't know what.
No.
But
that leads me to still think that it's like some weird kink thing.
I know.
And I'm not kink shaming, but like it makes me think that it's some because they were like recording it. They were like taking pictures of these girls eating things, right? Or was it just that they were paying them?
I think I don't know. I thought it was videos too, or like pictures. No.
Paying some girls they were filming and laughing at them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Or is it a weird like degradation?
Maybe.
King.
Probably. Like making them eat that stuff?
Yeah. It's almost like like Two Girls, One Cup situation.
I know.
I never watched that.
No, same. Yeah.
Obviously, you know the premise, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not, but if you do...
No.
But like I wonder if it's that kind of thing where it's like it's like the weird, because I'm pretty sure even that video was supposed to be like pornographic.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if like these situations that they're doing with these women is like almost supposed to be like a version of like porn.
Maybe.
That's like really going far, but
especially if they're paying, I don't know, but like,
but I also can't tell if it's like girls that are already at the party that are single that they're paying to do these things, because they're like, oh, like you should eat this thing, and the girls are like, I don't want to eat that, and then they're like, I'll fucking pay you, I'll pay you $100, like eat the bull testicle or something, or like eat the eyeball, and, like
right.
they're paying them to like fuck with them.
Yeah, it does give off this like weird, like, I don't want to say like sex party, but it is giving off this kind of vibe that like half of the party is like off, like all of the, because she is engaged to be married. So all of the people that are married and committed are like on one side of the party. And then all of the single / like not super committed people are on the other.
No, they're already married. OP and her husband, they're married.
I thought she said my fiance.
No, they're married. Unless they got... No, she said my husband has this close group of friends.
So someone else has a fiance.
I think so, yeah.
But still, like, her and all the married people and then the fiance of whoever are on one side, not participating in this. And then the other is, like, all of the single people and then someone in, like, a relationship, but that's not, like...
No engagement.
To be married.
Yeah.
Which is just, like... Again, it's just
odd.
so creepy. And, like, I'm so curious as to, like, what people were saying to justify it, too.
Yeah.
Because... I think that could give off more creepy vibes, but the red flags going off in my head is like intentionally not communicating to her that it was going to be a creepy party like this, and then intentionally being like, not her, she needs to go to the other side of the room, you know, and like people felt the need to protect her.
Yeah. The additional like points and stuff that are listed here. So... One of the comments said, what bothers me is that her husband's reassurance that she has nothing to worry about implies that he's okay with giving the other girls something to worry about. That's so gross. Mm-hmm. Someone else said, that's what got me to, like, quote, it's only awful and disrespectful if it's my wife, but I have no problem watching and laughing at other women being degraded. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then someone else says this, the real issue is that this shouldn't be entertainment for anyone. If I were OP, I'd make my husband answer what makes her so different from the other women at the party. Yeah. And will he ever just decide she isn't worth the respect and decide it's her turn to eat the fear factor bullshit? That's the show. Will he ever decide he can make her do whatever he wants if he is the breadwinner? And then OP said, I tried to make him answer your first question. He told me I was changing the subject.
Yeah. Like that's the creepy part, is like she's being singled out with other people that she is not to be degraded, but the other women, they feel like that's okay for them to do.
Yeah. Because even the two guys that were participating, the one that was single and the one that was in a relationship, like, that's also just crazy in general, because like he's participating in like watching these women do it, and it's like it's so uncomfortable for the girlfriend or I'm assuming it's girlfriend, but that's so uncomfortable for the partner that's not with him, because if she sees those videos or like hears of him like laughing and making fun of these women that are eating these disgusting things, like I can only imagine what I would think if I saw a partner of mine doing that.
I know.
I'd be like, do you not respect women, like, or people? Like, why are you laughing at someone being like borderline tortured like
it's
that.
also so problematic too that it's just the women that they're making do this.
Yes, I agree.
Like that's
yeah, like, that's why it's like very much like it feels like a degradation. Like I keep saying kink, but like it just seems like they're getting off on like watching these women be degraded.
Right,
it's
because why else would they want that? Why are they filming them? Why are they paying them? Like, if you're throwing this party, like, you're putting it on for entertainment, you know? Like, it's not because you're a fan of the show or whatever, because if you were, then you'd be participating too.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he's making these women,
just the women,
do it. Ugh, I don't like it.
So someone else commented on the post, if I were you, I'd text the parents and explain why you were uncomfortable in full creepy detail. Make them think twice about their son's friends and judgment. And OP says, the thing is, I don't know if they'll side with me. His friends are the sons of their friends, so part of me is worried that this is just normal for all of them and I'll look crazy trying to make this an issue.
Awful.
Yeah. And then the top comment rating her as not the asshole, because this was originally from Am I the Asshole? Mm-hmm. The commenter said, I read your other post. OP, I don't think you owe those friends anything. At the creepy party, you were treated like a victim until his friends knew who you were, parenthesis wife instead of paid party girl. They were targeting you and wanting you to eat the weird things and film you. Those friends saw woman and immediately categorized you as girl here for our amusement. Mm-hmm. They didn't see any woman at that party as people. In your description of the party, you talk about how the women the women that were there were paid to eat the gross things, how they were filmed and mocked. I wonder if you would feel different if everyone at the party was being filmed eating stuff, but it was just the women being targeted. Mm-hmm. In college, I went to some frat parties and saw frat members do some gross shit, drink a gallon of milk and then immediately barf it up. Drank alcohol until they passed out and pissed their pants. I went to a private college with some rich kids, and there were more than a few early 2000s camcorders catching it all. It bothered me. It made me wonder if I should hang out with those guys because I worried that at some point they'd want me to be the target of humiliation. I would be willing to bet that's what's happening to you. You watched this group humiliate these women. You now realize your husband is at the very least cool with it since he knows about it. You also had them start to target you until one guy said something like, not that one. I don't think you owe his friend group anything. I hope you can figure out a way to deal with this. I hope your husband can grow a pair and honor the vows he made to you.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
I couldn't agree more with that comment.
Yeah.
Because, like, regardless, man or woman, like, this is fucked up because it's a bunch of men doing this to women. But, like, it's also a form of hazing. You see that at, like, college parties all the time.
Hazing is so dangerous. There are so many, like, recorded deaths of people dying from hazing events at colleges.
Yeah. And it's, like...
which is crazy.
It's so messed up. And I could never, ever be associated or want to be associated with someone that would do something like this or anything like hazing, anything like that. I would not feel okay to know that this is happening and like be okay with it or like be cool with it in the least. I agree. So like the husband being a bystander and knowing this is happening and also bringing your wife to a party that you know that this is happening just because she's married to you, you're not protecting her, and that still doesn't make it okay because other women are going through it.
I wonder if it's like a weird power move on his part where like he has a wife or a woman to like protect.
Yeah.
And like have authority over. And that
I don't like that either.
Yeah, and that like the other girls that are there like are these like fragile what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable people who can be preyed on, and because he is like the owner of a woman because they're married, like it's just some of the other comments that are on like this, like the best of Redditor updates are actually really interesting too, and I want to read a handful of them. One of them says, he said she had nothing to worry about because he was there. Translation is he knows how they'd treat her if he wasn't there. So that had 12K upvotes. Someone also commented, as evidenced by how they did treat her, aggressively pressuring her to be one of the entertainment until she was rescued by a friend of the husband's. And then someone else said to that, there's a particularly vile subset of men who only respect women if they are claimed by a fellow man. Even then, they're more respectful of a man's property rights than the woman herself. That's who OP's husband is, and his friends seem to be. Yeah,
this is making me more and more mad the more that we like read and analyze
I
this.
know. This actually is like turning into like a huge, like this could be there's so much misogyny in this.
I know.
Someone said, yep, many women have reported that if they are trying to turn down a man's advances, they are more successful if they say, I have a boyfriend, instead of just saying no, because some men respect other men's ownership of them more than their refusal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that actually, we've talked about that story before, or this story before, when we were at a bar in New York like a year ago or so, a year and a half ago, and this guy approached us and we just were kind of like ignoring him and saying no, and he kept insisting on talking to you, and you were like, I have a boyfriend. And then finally he was like, oh, right. Oh, man, yeah, I'll be right back. And then like pretended someone was talking to him. But like he wouldn't leave you alone until you said, I have a boyfriend, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Well, because he kept trying to like suss out to our friend Ben that was with us.
Yeah,
to
he
see
thought
if, like,
Ben was your boyfriend.
Yeah. And then when he found out that Ben wasn't, that's when he was like, oh, she's fair game. But it's like, you could clearly tell that I was uncomfortable by the interaction regardless. One, because I don't want to be hit on.
No.
But two, like, I didn't like what he was doing. I didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And instead of like him just being like, oh yeah, I'm reading that she's uncomfortable, I'm going to stop. It was not until I was like, I have a boyfriend, that he was like,
he was insistent.
Right.
It's truly so fascinating to me, like how often nowadays, especially so, I find either stories, situations, I hear about situations, or even I listen to some men in my life talk about women, and like how little men still respect women.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm very fortunate in that most of the men in my life like are very respectful people and like responsible men, and like educate themselves, and I feel safe around all of them, which is really great, and I'm glad that I have those men in my life. But it's really scary to know that like a lot of their external friends or people that I come across, or even like actions that I observe from men elsewhere, like whether it's here or when we travel or like wherever, it's just like really, really scary to know that there are so many men in this world that don't respect women.
Yeah.
And that view them in this way. I know there's a lot of other like groups of people that aren't respected by many, many people, but it's scary thinking about it in the context of me, because I can only relate to being a straight woman and like having to deal with straight men, and they're really scary. And like stories like this just really freak me out.
I know. Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm like very glad that we have the men in our life that are the opposite of this and are very protective of that.
Yeah.
And like, I want to have faith that there are more people out there like that, and I know that there are, but it is like super disheartening to like read something like this that is still like so recent.
Yeah.
And being like, oh yeah, like it's like a reality check almost, that it's like, okay, in our little bubble, like we're safe around the guys that we have, but then if we step out of that, there's a higher risk that we could be met with this.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
I know. I saw a graphic the other day, and then we'll move on from this like very heavy topic. I saw a graphic the other day, and I don't remember what statistic it was comparing it to, but I think it was regarding like trans rights. And it was saying like, you know, everyone who's against like trans rights and things, there was an instance of like one thing happening, so you're labeling it as all things. But then when women or people label all men as dangerous, or like the not, I think it was commenting on like the not all men like movement, or saying whatever. It was trying to explain that like, yes, well, that is true. Like not all men are abusers. Not all men are aggressive, will sexually assault you, are dangerous, whatever. Well, it's not all men. Unfortunately, women can't really take that gamble if they are alone in the presence of a man. They have to assume that it is all men. And that like, if I know for me, sometimes when thankfully I don't really walk alone at night anymore, because I'm not in college and I go to work at like regular work hours. But sometimes in the morning in the wintertime, it's dark. And if I'm walking from the train station to my office building, like sometimes it's pitch black and there's random guys around. And even if I'm walking from the train station to my office and there's just no one around and there's like a random man behind me, like my head's constantly on a swivel. And that man might be the nicest person that I will ever meet in my life, or just a nice older guy, whatever. However, because I am a small 27-year-old woman, like I just have to assume that he is dangerous, and like I have to be aware. But that's also at any person. Like I'm more scared of men because they're stronger than me, but like it's with any person. If I'm alone and I'm walking around and I don't have any means to defend myself, I'm always assuming everyone is going to hurt me.
I'm always on red
alert.
You
like have to be that way when you're a woman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately in America. So, yeah.
Period.
Anyways, we're going to go on to the next topic because I don't want to talk about sad, scary things anymore.
I know, even though this whole episode is creepy things. Let's just move on to the next one. Okay. So, again, title, should I, 25 female, be concerned about my neighbor or am I being paranoid? For reference, I live by myself in an apartment on the first floor. It's located in the very back of my apartment building, so there's very minimal foot traffic, usually just my across the hall neighbor, his visitors, or delivery people. I have a screened-in patio. I usually leave my door cracked open. I usually leave my door cracked open during the day for my cats to hang out outside. The patio is pretty private, but there is about a 2-foot sliver that is viewable from the outside. Good context. Anyways, the other day I left to run errands and this man, probably late 20s to mid 30s, was peering into my patio. I confronted him. He explained that his dog, named Waffle, likes to interact with my cats through the screen. He did have a cute little dog with him. He was friendly, said he lives on the 3rd floor. I didn't think much of it until I got home, went to open my back door and realized that my back door had been closed all day. So you'd think he would have noticed that my cats weren't out and left instead of waiting there peering into my patio, right? On Friday, my coworker / friend stopped by and we were talking for a while in this little area by my front door. When I went to walk her out, I opened the door. It opens inward. And since I didn't anticipate a man to be standing right outside my door, I was startled and jumped back a little. My friend knelt down to pet Waffle and asked, like, "Aw, what's his name?" etc. He kept letting Waffle get into my apartment, despite my attempts to kindly nudge him back outside. I tried to give him a look like, "Hey, get your dog out of my house," but when I went to make eye contact, he didn't have that same friendly expression. He had this look on his face like he was thinking really hard about something, kind of like the face you'd make if you wrote a shopping list. Forget to bring it with you, so you intensely try to remember what was on the list. It was a little unnerving, but whatever. They left and the day went on. Then yesterday, I heard him shouting, "Waffle, Waffle," in the morning and later that night. I should mention, I've lived here for about 3 years. I know that no one has moved in recently. I've never seen this guy, nor have I ever heard him call out for the dog before. I'm a grad student and work from home, so I'm pretty much home all the time. And if he's home due to quarantine, I feel like I would have at least seen him or heard him once before during the earlier months. So now that I've been overthinking about my interactions with this guy, my front door and patio are at the back of the building. You wouldn't normally walk a dog there since it is just a brick pathway. Maybe he was just curious at first and noticed his dog liked the cats, so he kept returning. But then why was he peering into my patio when there were clearly no cats out at that time? Why was he so close to my door? Was he listening to my conversation? Am I being paranoid? Or is this behavior a little weird? On one hand, the guy really could just be innocently walking his dog by my apartment. On the other hand, I'm getting some creepy vibes off this guy. What do you guys think? I'm probably being paranoid, right?
Whoa. Okay.
That was a lot.
Hold on. Okay. So he does have a dog.
Confirmed he has a dog.
The dog's name is Waffle.
Cute name.
Cute name. So the first time that he was looking into the patio, the cats weren't outside, and he was just standing there staring at into the patio. Was it through that little 2-foot thing that she was saying?
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
Which is weird in general that, like, if you're, like, peering and, like, waiting for the cats to come out.
Well, I'm, like, imagining it like it's this patio that's, like, jutting out of her apartment, and it's, like, she has the door there, and the patio, I'm imagining it not being on the brick walkway.
Yeah.
Like I'm imagining it's like a fenced in patio, right?
Yeah.
And like her screen door, she's saying her screen door into the apartment is 2 feet wide, or is she talking about, like, I'm confused where that door is.
Okay. Let me explain this. Like, I'll read the paragraph with like the explanation one more time. I live by myself in an apartment on the first floor. So it is the first floor.
It's on the ground. Yeah.
Yep. It's located at the very back of my apartment building. So
Yep.
there's minimal foot traffic.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to go out of your way to walk there. Usually, just my across the hall neighbor, his visitors, or delivery people are the ones that use this pathway. I have a screened-in patio. I usually leave my door cracked open during the day for my cats to hang outside. The patio is pretty private, but there is about a 2-foot sliver that is viewable from the outside. So the door is cracked open for their cats to hang out outside. But if not, you're only looking in and seeing an empty patio.
Well, yeah, so I'm taking that, so she's saying, like, the 2-foot sliver, I'm taking that as, like, if the building, like, ends here, the patio only juts out, like, 2 feet.
Yeah.
So, like, you would have to come all the way up to the patio in order to see into the patio.
Like, he's purposely placing himself there.
Okay, I'm following. I had needed to, like, visually imagine, like, the geography of the space. Figure out what
I was getting confused, too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's really fucking creepy. I also think it was interesting when she was like, was he like listening to my conversation when he was up against the door, like right there?
Yeah.
If he had his dog with him, he shouldn't be walking in like the main like middle hallway of this apartment building unless it's like an outdoor apartment complex.
Maybe.
But like you wouldn't cut, and unless it's a shortcut, but like why would you go through those apartments to go to the 3rd floor? You should be going upstairs. You shouldn't be going on the hallway on the 1st floor.
Exactly. And that's what feels very targeted too, because he's like,
it's just weird.
Like, all of these interactions back to back is what's creepy to me too, is like he's purposely standing and looking through at the patio at like a pathway that like no one ever walks down except her neighbor and like delivery people. So like, what put you there in the first place? Okay, cool. Maybe your dog like led you there, but it's like, okay, cool. One and done. Why are you showing up at this woman's apartment? You know?
Yeah, and you're like right at her door. And even if your dog like needed to smell something, like, I don't know, like I probably wouldn't bring my dog near a door to smell. I would be like walking my dog in the grass so they could pee or poo.
Yeah.
And then I could pick it up and go home.
Exactly. And also,
that's freaky.
This whole like showing up at the door and like almost like he's like waiting for the door to open. It's giving me like trying to suss out the apartment and what's inside and keeping like the door open long enough for him to like assess. And
letting the dog go in. It's almost like he's trying to get the dog to go in so he can chase the dog inside and get like a view of the apartment inside.
Exactly. Like the layout.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
No, I don't either.
I'm like a big proponent of like trust your gut. Like, especially, I mean, we can talk about like going back to what we were saying before is like women. Like, I'm always like, if I have a bad gut feeling, I'm immediately calling Steven. I'm immediately getting out my pepper spray, like anything for protection. Yeah. Like, if something feels off, I'm gonna trust it. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So immediately, I'm like, the red flags are going off with this guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So this is structured a little bit different than yours because there's a comment.
Yeah.
So top comment from this is OP. I took a look at your post history.
Wait, there's an update. Oh, are you reading the comments first and then the update?
I'm reading it in like chronological order.
Okay.
Because this comment was before the update.
Gotcha. I'm following. I didn't read the update yet. I just saw that said update.
Okay. It looks like you have been living at your place for 3 years and have an on and off boyfriend for 3 years, but haven't heard of this guy for the past 3 years.
She had a boyfriend. They broke up, it seems like, and she hasn't seen this guy for the 3 years that she's been living here when she's also happened to have a boyfriend.
Got it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's very suspect that he is starting to come into your life just after you've broken up with your boyfriend. How often was your ex at your place? He might have picked up that you have been recently single. Yeah, he could. Maybe this guy could be like sussing out, like, oh, does she have a boy over? Does the boy live here?
Yeah, but that's fucking creepy still.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, from your past posts, it seems like you have been in relationships where you were the dominated, sorry for the term, one. So the submissive one?
Yeah.
Which is why you were hesitant about the complaint and protecting yourself. But please make yourself safe, have a camera, log every interaction you have noticed, log the amount of times you have heard him with his dog near your place, and then file a complaint. At the end of it all, it's better to be safe and protect yourself than be sorry about it later. At least with the logs, you can provide that proof to your apartment management, and if it needs to be, the police.
Oh, there's more updates.
It's like a lot.
Oh, okay.
This is a long one.
Okay, I'm following.
So, I agree. Like, make yourself safe. I said it, better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
If there's red flags, I would, like, be on red alert for sure.
Yeah. That's so scary.
I know. So, it looks like there's one update, actually. And 2 edits.
Yeah.
And it's all supposed to be in order. So, okay, we're good. So, there's an update that was posted 5 days later. Hi, I wanted to update anyone who read the original post and is wondering how I'm doing. I appreciate everyone's concerns. I didn't expect so many responses offering their recommendations and support. I've updated my security measures, which I should have done when I first moved in anyways. I only let the cats roam around the patio during the day when I am hanging out in the living room and can supervise, maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. I haven't seen this person nor the dog since my last interaction. I did hear a woman's voice yelling out the dog's name the other day, but this could be his partner, roommate, friend, etc. I don't believe that. I'm not sure. I will update if there are any future interactions with this person, but so far none, and let's hope it stays that way. Nonetheless, I am safe. Thank you. Please stay safe also. P.S. The In Case I Go Missing box idea is from the podcast Crime Junkie. It wasn't my original idea. I might be ridiculous for having a box like this, but it is for peace of mind.
Yeah.
The box stuff looks like it was edited out. So she edited out the box stuff from the post, which is interesting. But
Well, probably because if someone saw it, then they would know and would be able to get rid of said box.
yeah, it has a lot of personal information in it. Like banking info, dental records, copy of driver's license, places you frequent, handwriting. That's a lot. Yeah. I would hate to like even gather a box like that.
I mean, if you live by yourself and you're on the first floor. This is also a rule of thumb, especially, again, if you're a woman, don't ever get an apartment on the first floor of a building.
Yeah, like, by yourself.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you're with someone, like getting an apartment on the first floor of a building is so dangerous, because if there's burglary, like, usually it's the first floor.
It's the first floor.
Yeah.
I know. That's where I live right now.
Basement or first floor, yeah.
But we are probably leaving soon. So.
Yeah.
So based on the update, like, there's no, like, creepy stuff happening.
Yeah.
She did have an In Case I Go Missing box. But when I said, like, when she heard a woman's voice yelling out the dog's name the other day, like, my initial thought, and again, this might just be me being paranoid, but my initial thought is, like, this is a tactic. Like, if I heard a woman's voice, like, calling out the name, maybe she was frantically calling out the name, like, it sounds like the dog went missing or something.
Yeah.
I would be more likely to be like, oh, this woman lost her dog. Like, I want to go help her. And, like, maybe that's a tactic to, like, get her out of the apartment or, like, kidnap her or anything like that. So,
yeah, like, make her feel like this guy isn't actually creepy because it's, like, a woman calling the same name.
Exactly. Or being like, oh, like, it's a woman, I want to help her, kind of thing. So,
there's also a crazy comment on this. I don't know if you've forwarded to any of the comments.
I haven't.
There's a full, like, someone gives, like, another story about a creepy neighbor.
Ooh.
Do you want me to read it really quick?
Yeah.
So this person was commenting and they were saying, like, I have a creepy neighbor too. Unfortunately, he's, like, the next door neighbor, and they were giving examples of what this neighbor would do, and it seems like the neighbor would set up lawn chairs like 30 feet away from their bedroom window to watch them. They'd close their blinds and ignore them, but he seemed mentally not all there. He used to have a care nurse visit, but now his parents visit, check in on him. He sleeps on his porch a lot. He does a lot of weird shit normal people wouldn't do. He lives otherwise alone. And then they said, I should have escalated before he did because looking back, his escalation was predictable. He tried to walk into my apartment. I was home alone. I live with 2 other people, and I had been in the kitchen making lunch, playing music and singing. The way my apartment is, a sliding glass door that leads to my little patio looks into the living room, and then to the left, blocked by a partition wall, is the kitchen. So he could hear me but not see me from the door. I was alerted by the sound of my screen door opening. I ran to the sliding glass door, and he was 1 foot inside of my apartment trying to walk in. I've never spoken to this man before in my life, not even a hello, and just gave a furious look as he brazenly tried to spy on me in the past. I yelled at him, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And he got this deer in headlights look and literally ran away. I slammed my screen door shut and called the police, calling the leasing office, and raised hell about this fucking creep and how bothersome he's been. I also told them I already let the police know. Nothing came of the incident. He's still renting there. He doesn't set up a lawn chair and stare at me anymore, and by and large avoids me and my family. He says hello to other tenants, but not to us. I know he knows we hate him, and I will not hesitate to mace his ass if he so much as gets within 5 feet of my door again. That's crazy. That's insane.
I could
so
not even
insane.
imagine. I would literally call the police. I'd be like, get out of my apartment.
That's so scary. Neighbors are so scary.
I know. I hate it. I'm just like reading these comments too, and the amount of people that have in case I go missing box, and I'm like,
I know. I'm like, do I need to make one?
It also like breaks my heart though.
I know.
That like this is the world we live in.
Well, but think about it, right? Like okay, especially because it's from Crime Junkies podcast. Like, if you're a crime junkie, if you like to watch like all of those crime documentaries and stuff, like the pieces of evidence that people don't find are the ones that are in those boxes.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's hair or it's nails or teeth, your dental records, that's fucking crazy. Because if you try and bite your abductor,
right,
you need to have dental records available to see what your fucking teeth marks look like.
Yeah. This might be a stupid question, but like, wouldn't the police be able to like go to, well, they don't know who their dentist is.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, unless someone else knows, like, it's just, and also like it's more so, I think, for like, say in like a crazy extreme case, if we have like a Dexter type person on our hands where like they're meticulously like taking the body apart piece by piece, if the fucking person rips all your teeth out and stashes them somewhere, like, right, and then they find your teeth, or like say you're buried somewhere and like all that's left, or say something happens and your body's mutilated and all that's left are like bones and teeth or things, like they have to, yeah, even handwriting too, like all of those things are crazy. What I thought was what was scariest to me, where it was like a picture of you with makeup and without makeup and with minimal makeup, just showing different versions of you.
I know.
So it's like, God forbid you're like thrown into water and you're all bloated from being like, just, dude, like, it's just crazy.
It actually
so
kind of makes me sick to think about.
Yeah. I hate it.
Me too.
Okay, so my next story.
I'm really excited about this one.
So I think this one is going to be a little paranormal, because I was also reading parts of the update, and there was a child therapist that even suggested laying out like flour, like baking flour, to see if it's real or not. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So, because the title itself, imaginary friend in quotes.
Yeah, the OP is scared about his daughter's imaginary friend.
Like, that is giving, like, when kids have imaginary friends, sometimes it might be a
ghost. I mean, there was what was that book that I read by Jason Rekulak?
Hidden Pictures.
Yeah, Hidden Pictures. That book was about this little boy who like had an imaginary friend in his house, and it ended up being like a woman that died on that property, and he would like talk about her, and he would like draw pictures of her, and she was this terrifying person. Which, actually, fun fact about that book, the illustrator of the book that would draw the photos that the kid was drawing would draw them with his left hand, so it looked like a kid's drawing. Yeah. Anyway,
that's smart. I also am noticing that the original subreddit was
in Paranormal Encounters. I didn't do that purposely.
Spooky.
Okay, so here we go. This was submitted on March 5th, 2021, so 4 full years ago.
Did you open that?
No.
There's a link.
There's a picture. So, okay. It's a drawing.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's awful.
Is that the imaginary friend?
Yep.
Well, obviously,
we're going to get to that point. Yep. Okay.
We're just hyping this up.
Alrighty, I'm worried about my daughter's safety. That's the title of the story. So originally, again, submitted March 5th, 2021. Hello. I couldn't sleep, so I thought now would be a good time to post this. So I have an 8-year-old daughter. I will be calling her Liana for the sake of my child's privacy. I'm a single father, and it hasn't always been easy, but we've managed. Before the start of Corona, we had moved into a new house in northern Germany, which is close to my parents.
Interesting.
So that's good to know. There might be some like grammatical errors and stuff around in the story. Soon after we settled in, Liana started to tell me about her new friend, quickly telling me only she could see him. I brushed it off as she's always been creative, and since we were under lockdown, I thought it was normal, especially since one of my friend's sons had also had imaginary friends. Though out of the next few months, she would tell me about him, how he would come to play with her once I put her to bed, and he knew magic, and how his favorite color was blue. I started to get a little worried as she seemed to know a lot about this friend. At first, I thought it was just because she was missing her real friends and my parents. So I started to spend even more time with her, even doing my work hours beforehand so I could spend the rest of the day with her. But she still kept talking about this friend. But everything changed 2 nights back. I had woken up randomly around 3 a.m. The witching hour. I could just feel something wasn't right, so I got up and went up to check on Liana. She was sleeping in her bed, though her blankets were a little different than how I had left her. I figured she had just moved, but as I was leaving, just in the corner of my eye, I saw a figure in the window that looks out into the woods outside of our home.
I'm gonna throw up.
I looked at it for a good 2 minutes before it simply disappeared. I couldn't really figure out what it was. Some part of me was thinking it was my eyes playing tricks on me, but that day I asked her to draw me a picture of him. And after 20 or so minutes, she gave me this. I don't even know what to make of it, to be real with you. I sent it to my mom and the single dad group I am in, and they all said it was scary as hell. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm becoming worried for my child. I'm just hoping that this really is just in her mind, but I don't know what to do anymore. Any suggestions or tips would be helpful, as I'm also worried I'm overreacting. So let's take a look at the picture.
It's massive. Look at its hands.
So he's really tall. His hands and his feet are like
claws.
Like claws almost.
In the mouth too.
His mouth, and he has like reddish eyes.
Because look at the difference of like how she draws her versus him. She puts shoes on her. She doesn't make her hand look that way. Yeah. She has a red smile with no teeth. And for him, he's got jagged teeth, red eyes, claws. He's tall.
Yeah, he has like a jagged smile.
And like
he has long like yellow. I wonder if it was like long white hair maybe, I know. And that's why she's using yellow. Hair. Yeah, he looks creepy AF.
And it looks like it's nighttime.
Yes. Yeah, because that's the moon and stars around them.
I want to throw up. Also, so yeah, like going back to everything that you were reading before we move on.
Yeah.
I feel like classic like ghost story is we always like, especially with kids, we always see, I mean, it reminds me of Haunting of Hill House, like the kids play with the ghosts at night, or like Bly Manor too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then at 3 a.m. I just
yeah, he's like,
I hate it.
Sorry, I had you on. Yeah, he's like, everything was weird, or, you know, everything felt weird. I woke up at 3 a.m. And I'm like,
witching hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a coincidence.
Someone responded to OP. They said, in some old German books, like from Johann Weir, written in medieval German, a Wittig is a child-thieving ghost demon who steals them away from their family.
Nope.
Like a fae or Baba Yaga. It's evil, must be invited in, and they do no magic.
I'm going to throw up.
I know about Baba Yaga. I read a book about Baba Yaga. It was actually really good. It was called Thistlefoot. It was a really incredible book. Anyway. Yeah, that's scary. Look at the picture. Blonde hair, yellow eyes, long nails, tall and very evil. I'm writing encyclopedias on demonology and supernatural, and that's why I know. I'll look up the books it's in and try to take pictures. I have over 4,000 research books on the subject, so it may take a while. Keep her near you always.
That's comforting.
Well, someone else said, I don't think there's a way to describe my emotions at this moment. Or sorry, this was OP's response to that comment. I don't think there's a way to describe my emotions at this point. I haven't heard of this even when I looked up the name to try and get an idea of what it meant. I feel like I'm going to pass out. My baby told me she invited him into the house. Please, please, I'm begging you to send me anything you have. I'll take anything. Someone else commented, if I'm being honest, that has been keeping me up most of the night. The thought of anyone really being around my child when I'm not there scares me. Sorry, this is another OP comment, like the original poster's comment. I'm a very rational person, but after reading some of the comments, I'm definitely going to look into more paranormal aspects of this, especially how to make a very good point in this matter. There is still some part of me holding out on the overreactive imagination because that's something I know I can handle, even if it's just finding safe ways to get out of the house more. But I'm worried if it's not what I'm even going to do. I don't have the finances to move or even stay in a hotel for a long amount of time. Should be up in an hour or so. I do intend to have the conversation with her and try to piece some things together. I have seriously thought about getting a nanny cam even before this, as she is a very active girl and has had a few incidences where she's needed help after climbing onto something. There is an update, it looks like. Mm-hmm. And there's tons of other stuff. There's tons of updates. Holy shit. Okay. All right. So... Ooh, okay. So he took this story and put it into r/mediums on March 5th in 2021 also. So it was originally posted on r/paranormal activity. Now it's posted in r/mediums. So he goes, someone told me it might be a good idea to do this. My 8-year-old daughter has an imaginary friend who's in the pictures above. He only comes to play with her at night once I've put her to bed, and he comes into her room according to her. I've had a very serious conversation with her today as I am very worried and fully believe I saw something outside of her window 2 nights ago. I really want help for my daughter. She said his name is Wittig.
I'm gonna vomit.
I did a little digging, and it's an extremely old German name, which makes a little sense as we are from northern Germany and we currently live here as well. She's never been exposed to that name before, and I know no one in my family named that. All of this started after we moved into our current home. If anyone could help me, I would deeply appreciate it. I have been told my child might be sensitive herself, but I don't know much on these things.
Wait, didn't we read something about...
So I think what happened, because they were submitted on the same day, so I think he submitted on r/paranormal and then r/mediums at the same time, and I think someone commented on the r/paranormal post and said there are these things called Wittigs or Baba Yagas that steal children, and then I think he might not have seen that comment before he posted it on the r/mediums, because it was the same day.
It's just crazy
that his name is Wittig.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree.
I want to throw up.
Let's read the response. This is a lot scarier than I thought it was going to be. Someone responded and said, child therapist here. This has red flags all over. I get a bunch of flour and pour it all over the ground by her window. See if you can catch footprints. Imaginary friends are more common for younger kids. By 8, she should be moving on to more age-appropriate peer play. I'm a believer in the afterworld, but we need to rule out physical causes too. I would highly recommend finding a trauma therapist specializing in play therapy to do an assessment. Meet with the therapist alone first to explain what's going on. I've worked on cases like this before and have never found a physical cause, determined and agreed to it to be a spiritual form. Worked with the kiddo on expressing feelings about the figures and setting boundaries and how to cope if there's fear, but not every therapist has an open mind. Okay, so this person is saying that like they have worked with kids who have seen physical things before, spirits, and they work with them on what to do when they find those things and how to form boundaries. That's actually a really cool therapist.
I know, I love that.
The OP responded. OP comment a game daughter plays with the friend. From what I can understand, it varies. Okay. So he was I think it seems like he was talking to someone else about how they play games. Mm-hmm. The Wittig and the daughter. He said, from what I can understand, it varies from playing with her toys to going outside and playing a game called Hidden. When I asked her what that was, she said it was a secret game and that I can't play or it wouldn't be a secret anymore.
Marissa, I'm going to vomit.
Okay. Oh, God. All right. Another response from OP. I would rule out the physical, then do quite a few... Oh, no. This is just a random response. I would rule out the physical, then do quite a few things. Use the flour inside all the windows or use baking powder. It can double as air freshener. Cool.
Cool.
Once you rule out a living person, in fact, whether or not you rule out a living person... It's just saying you can rule out a living person or if it's not, whatever. Secure that window. Spray the panes with salt water, the door sills and window sills, all of them, without spraying the inside door entrances. Do not tell your daughter what you are doing and why. There is no point in frightening her or making her feel bad. Verbally refuse his permission to enter your home. Announce that no energy, living or deceased, is allowed in your home without you expressing the knowledge and permission. Tell him the hidden game is not allowed. Ask for help of archangels to remove him. They seldom act without being asked. If Michael is asked and the Wittig is not a positive energy, consign him to Michael to do what Source wishes to do with him.
Pretty much like if to see what he wants.
He's just
like
calling
Michael
on Michael, the angel.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If you need someone to intervene and the local medium is not available, I will help if sent private message or chat request. Okay, so it seems that this person might be like a medium or something. Mm-hmm. It's a good sign that she's not frightened, but as a mama bear who is a medium, I, like you, investigate and protect my children in any way needed. I did not tell them what I was doing. There was no point in informing them. They were small. Follow the directions for smudging your home for those exact same steps with salt. What I saw was a blonde man.
I'm gonna throw up, Marissa.
What I saw was a blonde man, perhaps middle ages, straight hair that was dirty, wearing tattered clothes and a leather apron tied around his waist, 30 to 35. This is the picture that she's talking about, I think. Leather shoes that are tied up to his calves. He seems to have dried blood around his abdominal area. He had other wounds, but your daughter does not see that. I believe he died defending his home. He seems to be a human spirit. He was outside and attacked. He raised pigs. He farmed.
This is what the medium is seeing, not in reference to the photo.
No, it's just what she's seeing?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because she's saying your daughter didn't see that. Because if she did, she'd draw that.
Oh, true. You're so right.
I am freaking out.
He was outside the window because you do not allow him inside the home. Custom would dictate he can only cross your threshold as an invited guest. He would need to enter through the front door, so the fact that he uses a window bothers me. He appears disheveled in the sense he appears to be a man whose hands and clothing are soiled from working outdoors. He can only enter with permission. Deny him permission. It is a good idea to involve a medium there locally. It's even better not to warn Wittig or your daughter. If he has her best interests at heart, a medium will be able to sort that out. The hidden game concerns me. He knows better. Forbid him to play it. It may have been a way he taught his children to hide from raiders. However, your daughter should not be hiding from you. Sometimes souls refuse to cross over and they are trapped in loneliness. Their desire to feel something overcomes their judgment that it is inappropriate to approach a young child. I saw souls at your daughter's age. I was seldom frightened. However, I had ancestors guarding my family. Usually these souls want to help or a sense that they still exist. Children have bright, beautiful souls. They are much more accepting than adults. This soul needs help, but not from a child. If he crossed over, it would be best for all that are concerned. If he did not appear to be untidy, I would be more inclined to believe he was a spirit guide. I do not believe that I don't believe that being the case. Holy moly. Okay.
This is crazy.
So there was another update on March 9th in 2021. So it was 4 days later. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Okay. This man says, so after a bit of delay, the update. I think it should state the reason for the disappearance through a comment given to me by blank. This is like a response. Like this is copied from the original post, so I don't know. I was informed that it is a demon ghost, whatever you want to call it, that it's known to steal children. Without saying, they sent me into a state of panic, as I would like to think any other parent would feel. I didn't leave her side until she left today. She was supposed to leave on Monday for my parents' house, but something came up and we had to wait until today. Without saying, I collapsed shortly after she left. I hadn't slept more than 40 minutes any night. Before I go into our conversation, I'm getting the house completely cleansed by a Catholic priest. He's coming over tomorrow and then plan to have the place cleared out with sage. I'm basically doing everything I've been told to do, even planning to get a rose quartz gem to place outside of her window. She's very much aware that something is wrong at this point, as I had her sleep in my room for the last few days, so and could tell I got very paranoid at night. I told her that there have been a few burglaries in our area and that I was just worried. I also plan to be getting a nanny cam for her room just as extra security, just in case that it doesn't leave after all of this. The original post I had meant to share. This morning, after she woke up and ate breakfast, I decided to sit her down and ask her about her friend, mostly asking simple questions and the main ones. The main ones were, what's his name? Has he ever asked you to do bad things like hurt yourself or me? And if she's scared of him. She told me she calls him Wittig, which is a name I've genuinely never heard in my life, and that he never told her to do anything bad or hurt anyone or herself or me. Edit. Like I said, I was informed that this is a demonic entity that steals children. And she's only ever been scared of him once. Of course, I asked why, and she proceeded to tell me the story of when he started to come over to play. She said it's a few hours after I put her to bed, and she was having a hard time falling asleep, but she noticed something was outside. She had gotten up to investigate. Apparently, he slowly started to move to the window until he was right in front of it and just stared at her, like he was, in her words, very sad and upset. So, of course, being the sweetheart child she is, she wrote a small note and pressed it to the window asking if he was okay, and apparently he shook his head no. She somehow managed to open the window a little bit and then asked why, and she was told it was because he was very scared of the dark and had no one to play with. So, of course, she offered to play with him. He told her he would like that, but before he could, she had to invite him inside, which she did. This was when I start getting scared. She said after she did, he smiled and pushed the window open and crawled in on all fours, which made her very scared, and she started to cry.
I'm nauseous.
But apparently he comforted her, and then did a magic trick. I have, of course, asked her what the trick was, and she said that he made all the lights in her room turn on to show her he wasn't scary. I started to ask her more and what other magic tricks he had done, and they ranged from making flowers appear to taking them both outside. To taking both of them outside.
Yeah.
Apparently, he also likes to show her the stars and the moon, which is why she added them in her drawing. I'm starting to believe that this isn't just an imaginary friend. The amount of detail she went into, constantly referring to him being real, just so many other things.
But yeah, I'm like genuinely nauseous from that.
Yeah, that was horrible. I think it's fake.
Yeah.
I think it's a fake story.
It was like way too crazy.
Sorry, I have to retest.
You're good.
Yeah, it was honestly though, like,
it was entertaining. I mean,
yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Girl, me too. I was reading it and I was like, there's no way this is getting worse.
But it is crazy that he posted in like multiple things and like got actual comments from these people, unless all of that was made up too. But like, I don't think so.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Who freaking knows?
Well, to end this on like a less scary note, this has like a lot of like comments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can get through it kind of quick. So, my last one is titled, My 21 Male Girlfriend, 20 Female Has a Creepy Box Above the Wardrobe. This was originally posted in Relationship Advice, and it was posted March 3rd, 2019.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Long time ago.
Yes.
Okay.
So, we have been together for just over a year, and we have never had any issues apart from minor arguments that were easily resolved. Up until recently, I have never noticed anything strange about her behavior. A few days ago, she left her room at uni to go to a lecture in the morning and left me in there. Up until that day, I had never looked through her things, as I've never felt the need to. She has the space above the wardrobe where she keeps boxes and... Run that back. She has this space above the wardrobe where she keeps boxes and stuff, and I couldn't see inside them. Boredom got the better of me. Big mistake, my friend. Boredom got the better of me, and I wanted to see what she was storing. So I found a box at the back, which was like a Ted Baker cardboard box that a handbag had come in or something. And when I opened it, I found so many random things that I used to own.
Huh?
There were odd socks in there that she has taken, a toothbrush that I thought I had lost after a holiday, bits of hair from presumably my comb, toenail clippings, receipts that I assume she stole from my wallet. She even has things like empty wrappers of food that I know were mine. There was a piece of glass in there, but I don't know where that is from a USB phone charger, a half-used bar of soap, boxer shorts, used gum, a spoon, used plasters from God knows when. Honestly, things in the box were so random, but I recognized a lot of little bits that had gone missing over the past year. The most worrying thing was a used condom I found in there. I didn't even know how she managed to keep that, and a few empty condom wrappers as well.
From them?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
As
Caitlin and I always say, what the fuck?
I even found a little tablet in there that looked a lot like my antibiotics that I took for my tonsils before Christmas. And I definitely remember losing one of my last dosage. Doses. I can't remember what else because I just put it back and left. She doesn't know I found it yet. My girlfriend behaves normally, and this is the first time I've seen anything weird. She has never acted obsessive or creepy or anything. I don't want to confront her about it because she will know I was looking through her things, but then again, what else am I supposed to do? I love her so much, but I am genuinely scared. I have been sat here trying so hard to come up with logical explanations as to why she's doing this. Any ideas? Update, the other boxes just had her clothes. She just had her clothes in or were empty. That's a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of comments / questions that OP answers. So, sounds like the female version of a stalker character in the show You.
I was literally thinking that as we were reading it.
He had used tampons, phone, teeth, I think. Are you trolling?
Yeah, did you ever watch You?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, oh my God, great
You.
fucking show. The first season, he keeps up in the ceiling of the main character, like the first, because it's multiple series, so it's multiple girls that are his victims. The first one, he keeps in her like family's vacation home a box of like pee, tampons, teeth, a bunch of shit from when he killed her. He keeps it in the ceiling of her best friend's, I think it's her best friend's like vacation home or something. It's fucked up.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, it is giving You now that I know that.
Yeah.
And then they ask, are you trolling? And he said, or OP said, I haven't seen it. She isn't stalking me. We spend all our time together and always have. She would have no reason to stalk me. Then that same commenter responds saying, spoiler alert, she thought the same thing until he murdered her. If you're being serious and she has all that stuff and you can't. That didn't make sense. But pretty much being like, this girl in the show You thought the same thing and then he murdered her. So if you're being serious, like, this is,
yeah,
like, if you're not trolling, this is like very accurate. Someone else commented, was it by any chance a lecture in cellular biology and genomics? She's trying to clone you and make GMO babies. Check her online searches, see if she's researched eugenics and artificial placentas.
That's fucking crazy.
Her degree is biotechnology. And then that same commenter responds saying...
Wait, he goes, haha.
Yeah, her degree is biotechnology. Haha. And then the same commenter says, homegirl is definitely gene splicing. You're a specimen of interest with a desirable phenotypical feature. She's like, fuck this dating bullshit. I'm going to engineer my own man.
What the fuck?
Ugh, I hate it. Okay. There's an update. So he says, was this on the same day? 2 days later. So my girlfriend is currently in the bath and I took this opportunity to take another look at the box. She has been completely normal and unsuspecting that I know about it. A lot of people asked to see the contents of the box, so here it is. There's a photo!
No, it doesn't work anymore. I just tried.
Sad.
I know.
That's a bummer. Oh, editor's note link no longer works. I should have just read that. Anyways, then OP says, after reading the advice comments, I'm torn. I don't believe that my girlfriend would hurt me, but I don't know how to approach her with this odd behavior. I feel sick and afraid when I think about the box, but then I think of her cute face and I can't bring myself to confront her about it. I'm trying so hard to think of normal, rational explanations to myself that this isn't weird. So some more comments. Oh,
so this is in relation to a picture. Oh, you're like reading the username? Yeah. We're not going to say it. It's a very funny username.
Yeah, but it's, why are there 3 phones in the box? Whose phones are they? What happened to the owners? And then OP says, I don't know about 2 of them. The smashed iPod is my first generation iPod Touch that I had in a box somewhere. Didn't even notice it was gone. Someone else comments, also, that looks like a lot more than one dosage of medication. And OP responds saying, there was a single loose antibiotic that you can't see in the image. No idea where the other medication is from. Looks like contraception, but she isn't on the pill as far as I'm aware. Same commenter responds saying, yep, had a quick Google and it is most definitely a contraceptive pill, but they don't look used, which makes this even stranger. And penicillin, which can be used for a lot of different things. So you can say not everything in the box is yours. So, like, is this bitch just collecting shit?
I wonder from
other
like
people?
past relationships.
Other exes? I hate this. Someone else says, to me, it looks like a box of souvenirs. A normal souvenir is a greeting card or maybe a found coin. A used Q-tip or anything with bodily fluids taken without permission or agreement, that's abnormal. Worst case scenario, mental illness and Gone Girl-esque plans to potentially frame/trap you if you leave. Best case scenario, mental illness and a problem with obsession and stalking behavior. Someone else said, the fact that the condom, hair, and Q-tip are in wrappers shows that she took time with these things, not just compulsively grabbing things of yours and stashing them away. If everything in that box is related to you, then you need to find out whose those mysterious phones have to do with you, or what those mysterious phones have to do with you. I bet there is video of you two fucking or something, or some other stashed digital keepsakes. Yeah, what if she, like, had hidden phones and like taped him, or like there's pictures of him somewhere. Someone else said the baggies are a red flag for me, very deliberate. Someone else said that it is a great kit for framing for a nice array of crimes. Yeah, so there's a final update. And then we can kind of get into...
Wait, so one of the comments said, or the spell is actually working. All the stuff that she collected. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just a little witch trying to do some spells, some voodoo on her man.
Girl,
Anyways.
why do you need a used condom to do a spell?
Yeah, that's like...
What the hell?
The fact that it's used.
Ugh.
Like...
And
I kind of love the person that's like, someone's trying to clone you.
But also like random contraceptives, like...
I know.
Why do you need those?
Exactly. Especially if she's not taking them.
Like a souvenir from like a boyfriend or a partner you'd think is like a t-shirt or like a pair of his socks.
A movie ticket.
Yeah, a movie ticket.
A
like
concert
a little
ticket.
like, oh, like this was a little, like I know I've kept little things like, oh, like he won this for me in an arcade, or like, oh, this was from like an activity we did together, or like this is the mini golf game that I beat him once.
Yeah.
Like,
or if like she is kind of feeling more like obsessive, like going back to the beach of their first date and getting sand
or like shells or something.
Not Q-tips, not condoms, not
Pills,
medicine.
I know.
That like
toenails, hair.
Yeah. Like DNA stuff.
Yeah.
That is not souvenirs. Okay. So there's the final update. Same day. Thanks for all the advice. I really appreciate it. My friend recommended I post on here and it has really helped. I told my girlfriend that I found the box and she didn't seem bothered in the slightest that I found it. She is quite sensitive, so I expected tears but got none. She kind of brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal at all. I told her that the gross stuff was unacceptable and that she was wrong to take my Parker pens that belonged to my granddad.
Oh.
Yeah. She said that she had the intention of returning them to me. It was the best case scenario compared to the other possible explanations. She said that she was keeping them because they made her feel close to me. I guess I can understand that, or at least try to, because I love her. No. She said she will dispose of the things in the box. I am quite satisfied with that. We have agreed in the future that she will keep things like movie tickets from a date, things that are normal. She said that she kept the condom and wrapper because she thinks that she might be pregnant because she's late. She said that if the condom didn't work and she is pregnant, she wanted to keep it as memorabilia of when it happened. She said that she can see it as strange now, but at the time she wanted to keep it and didn't mean any harm. Thanks for all the concerned messages. We haven't talked and worked through this and are excited at the possibility of a pregnancy. Boy, run. I'm sorry. I would not believe that shit. Throws it away. I can see her putting it somewhere else. I don't believe her. Relevant comments. Nah, bro. Don't tell me you buy the story. She had a damn box filled with your hair and toenail clippings. What the fuck? Run while you can. For her to be normally emotional but suddenly not, that sounds like a true sociopath. Man, listen. And someone else says, yep, it's scary how it plays out. Normally, emotional woman suddenly calm and collected, talking about weird shit she left in a creepy box. Someone else said she must be really freaking hot if she was able to talk away a box of nail clippings and a used condom and a used Q-tip, wrappers, random phones, broken devices, grandpa's memorabilia. Man, you think you're gonna think back to this moment in 10 years and actually slap yourself because the cringe is just too much. Someone else said, wait, how could she go back and get the condom to save when she was late? Wouldn't it have been thrown out by then? OP, you're in danger. And then last person said this. Oh, responding to this previous comment. The average time you realize you're pregnant is approximately 2 to 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Think about that. I don't know a single person that keeps a condom for this long, other than your crazy batshit girlfriend. But also, I mean, it could be, and this is not me justifying, but it could be a situation where, like, maybe they don't take out the trash that often. Gross, but maybe they don't take it out that often, and she was late and, like,
just, like, on top of the trash
or like dug through the trash for it.
Yeah.
But, like, depending on how often they have sex, like, how did she know which one it was, you know? And, like, it's bad. The fact that this man does not see that this is an issue in her story, like,
yeah,
I'm of full belief that if someone is acting the opposite of how they normally would react in a situation that they're being called out on, is clearly they're lying. Because if she's normally emotional, she would automatically have an emotional response and be like, oh my God, like, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so sorry, and she might be crying because there's conflict. But when you're lying to someone, you're trying to make it seem like it's normal. You're trying to make it seem that it's okay. So that's why you're acting calm and collected from it. It's giving lying.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just like at a loss for words. It's just, serial killers collect memorabilia from their victims.
Right.
Like,
I want to know where those phones are from.
Yeah, like, people, like, there's, I'm just going to relate it to another book that I read. There's another book that I read that was called House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It was an okay book. And at the end of the book, we find out, I'm going to spoil it for everyone, that the main character's husband was the serial killer that they are trying to figure out, like, that they're trying to uncover in the book, that she knew about, and she covered for him because she found his memorabilia in his tackle box, which were the licenses and lockets of hair from these women that he murdered and dumped into this lake.
Yep.
Any murder, like, serial killer story situation, most of them that you hear about, the murderers have, like, memorabilia. I'm not saying that she is a serial killer. However, this is, like, very, very concerning psychological behaviors, that her versions of memorabilia and keepsakes are, like, his personal things that, again, he did not consent to her having.
Right.
And it's bodily fluids, things coming from his body, like, property he didn't even remember he had that she had to dig to find.
Yes.
Like, random things that she shouldn't have, like,
that she's secretly taking from him.
But it's already in their house.
I know.
She doesn't need to keep them in a box. They're already in their house.
It's like, it's antibiotics. Like, why do you need that? Why do you need to remember that he had tonsils?
I know, but
had tonsils taken out.
It's also, like,
just, yeah. It's really creepy, and I think regardless of if she was a serial killer or not, the problem is that this is not okay behavior, and he's not doing anything to be like, I care about you, I want to help you. Like, yeah, he told her that these were problematic things, but, like, how do you know that she's 100% throwing that stuff out? How do you know that she isn't just going to find a better hiding spot in separating her cute, like, memorabilia collection from her creepy memorabilia collection? Like, regardless of if it's crime worthy or not, it's a mental illness that she needs to figure out.
It's the fact that he literally was like, no more creepy memorabilia, okay? Only movie tickets. She's like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
And it's like, you really think that, like, reprimanding your daughter girlfriend is gonna, like, fucking make this better? Like,
no.
That's not, unfortunately, that's not how this is going to work. Unfortunately, she's gonna continue to do this because she's been doing, how long were they together? For, like, a year?
And she's clearly comfortable with like hiding things from him and being secretive from him. Like, what else is she doing that he isn't aware of?
But she collected all of that.
Does she watch him when he sleeps?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Does she have like creepy photos of him on those phones?
Maybe.
Ugh. Charge those phones. Figure it out.
But I'm also curious because he was saying that like not all the medication that's in there is like medication that he recognizes or knows about. So that's why I'm wondering like if it was from like maybe it's him and other people in his life, or maybe it's exes, or maybe it's just a memorabilia box, period. And it's like a bunch of people's memorabilia.
Right.
Like random
she
people.
Had stuff of like his grandfather's.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like important to him. I guess we don't know the relationship of him and his grandfather or what it was, but like,
but maybe she has an obsession with everyone in his family.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Ugh. I don't like it.
Ugh. Well, I hope this episode left all of you feeling like your skin's crawling because mine does. I want to take it off.
I know. I feel so grossed out.
I want to unzip my skin and remove it and wash it and then put it back on.
Yeah, I need a good shower.
Yeah.
I need like a good 3-hour shower after this.
And now Steven's going to come over and we're going to watch scary movies.
I know. A whole creepy day. But I hope that your day gets less creepy. Or more creepy if you like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening for this long Reddit episode.
Yeah, this was a long one. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. You can follow us on Instagram at totallycandidpodcast if you want to hang out with us some more. And yeah, let us know if there are any specific topics of Reddit stories that you want us to read. You can DM us or email us at totallycandidpod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening. Bye.